very good morning to all of you, and that beautiful prayer song, and then for all the good words you had for me. I thank you very much. It is my honor to be with you all. I always look forward to interact with young students. You are the future, not you are the future, you are the present as well. And I'm also from the Department of English at Christ University. And the current story which I'm going to share will probably give us some takeaways for you. Not that I'm internationally acclaimed, that was a wrong notion. Nor have we completed our journey. We are just on the journey, and a lot of challenges are still in front of us. So I don't want to exaggerate whatever we have achieved so far. There's still a long way to go. And but then I believe interacting with youngsters like you gives me great joy, because I always have this tremendous confidence that you are the people who are going to drive our nation to great heights. I think our generation has actually disappointed our nation. You are the people who are going to make the difference, and that's why a new insight. You know, we are from the Department of English. I am from the Department of English. I've been teaching in Maharashtra for my major part. So almost 23 years. We walk in and out of classrooms for years, and we teach good communication. We teach grammar. We take essays, lessons, but then. Sometimes you need to take a detour, and you have to ask ourselves, you know, can we do more than this with the life that we have here, right? So I'm going to take you through a journey. One component will be focused on the aspect of innovation, and I want to stress the fact that it has nothing to do with your academic background. It is absolutely subject agnostic. You can be from any area of studies, and still you can do innovation. Creativity is something which we all are blessed with. We are all endowed with. That's one point. So I'll be talking about how, you know, some of the key traits that we need to have in us, so that we can convert a problem into a possibility. That's primarily my focus: how to convert a problem into a possibility, and how to convert an idea into an enterprise. Of course, it is very more challenging than, you know, the straight-jacketed academics, you know, spheres in which we live and study, and the kind of mindset that we have is how to make ourselves secure through stable careers, right? So there is nothing called security when it comes to innovation and enterprise. There is nothing security, but there's always a challenge. So I'll just walk you through that part, and then I'll tell you this interesting story of how the story of straws took off and how it is still going ahead. As I mentioned, it has a long way to go, but I would maybe share it with that kind of a joy, because it came as a surprise to many of the things that happened was a big surprise to us also. So here it is. We begin our journey. I'll share the screen. So the talk is around building up innovative and sustainable business models, but I'll just first focus on innovation and how, though I was from the Department of English at Christ, I was allowed to have this freedom to run a small platform called ICLI, which is Initiative in Creative Learning for Impact. So the aspects had to be, just let me know, am I audible and my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir. You're audible, and we can see your screen.
Sure. Okay. So we used to run this small platform called Creative Learning for Impact, and it actually started after the college hours. Our college used to be from 9 to 4:30, and after that, students from all streams, be it from law, business, humanities, English, we all used to come together, and we used to explore possibilities. I would just put it that way: explore possibilities, explore problem areas, and I'll walk you through that journey subsequently. But I would like to start off with the story of this girl. I am very sure none of you must be knowing her. Her name is Jane Chen, and she was a student at Stanford. And she also joined a class similar to the one which I'm running now at Christ University. It was basically about problem solving, problem identification, and problem solving. So she was a part of this class. And one day the professor gave her a problem, not her, the class, a problem. The problem was that many premature born babies in India, in the remote villages in India, die immediately after childbirth, for the simple reason that the remote villages do not have incubators. The rural hospitals do not have the facility of incubators, because incubators cost, I don't know, around 3-4 lakhs higher up, I believe, and many of the hospitals don't have it. And then moreover, the mothers who are in the remote villages, mostly they are malnourished, so they give birth to premature children, and suddenly the doctor says it needs an incubator, 6 months, 7 months, and it needs a constant temperature of 37 degrees which the child cannot maintain on its own. And the professor gave the class this particular problem and said, you need to come up with a low-cost incubator, which can be used by the mothers in rural India, which can be used for these premature born babies. Now, I believe it would be a class of 30 people or 25 people, but Jane Chen took this problem to heart, and she probably empathized. So I hope you can pick these words and put it on the sticky part of your mind. One is to empathize. When would you want to come up with an innovation? When you can sufficiently empathize with the problem around it, right? India during the COVID crisis saw a huge trauma and tragedies all around, right? There were no oxygen cylinders, there were shortage of beds, but then unfortunately, obviously, that level of empathy actually has gone down, and that is why probably we didn't act the way we should have acted. So it is very important that you empathize, because if you empathize, because who knows the pain of losing a child? Who experiences the pain the most? Obviously, I mean, we don't have an interactive session because we are remote. So you all will unambiguously answer the mother. The mother knows the pain. No one else would know the pain of losing a child than the mother herself. But then Jane Chen also understood the pain, and she could empathize. And when you empathize, then you have what is called an intention. The intention to do something. Can I make a difference? Right. Now remember, Jane Chen was not in Bangalore, nor was she in any villages of India. She was way away at Stanford. But then she had that intention. And when you have that intention, then you have to have the attitude of initiative. As I mentioned, there must be 20, 25 other students in the class, but only she had, obviously all probably had empathy. All probably even had an intention to do something, but even that doesn't help unless you have the attitude of initiative. And I want to tell you, long story short, that Jane Chen took this flight right from the US, landed in Bangalore. This happened 6 years back. And then after coming to Bangalore, she partnered with a few other youngsters in India. And then she took this road trip to several villages in Karnataka, several remote villages in Karnataka. And then she started her study and her analysis and her research. And long story short, Jane Chen then came up with this sleeping bag kind of an incubator, which cost less than $200. And she has a business model wherein it is given free to mothers. And though it might look like just a sleeping bag, it is actually an incubator. And at the back of this sleeping bag, there is a pouch in which there is a wax-like substance. And that wax-like substance can be melted just with hot water. Please understand that when you are creating a product for a rural area, you know that power can be a big problem. That can be frequent power cuts. There can be no power at all. So she wanted to come up with a device which could be used just with hot boiling water, just with a mug of hot boiling water. And if you can pour it on the pouch, and the wax, as it is melting, it maintains a constant temperature of 37 degrees Celsius, which the baby needs. And that wax remains in that state for almost 8 hours at a stretch. And after that, you just have to pour one more hot mug of hot water, and you can use it endlessly, thousands and thousands of times. It can be used for multiple babies after the baby's need for the bag is over. This particular innovation is called Embrace. And this is Mruda Lakshmi, whose second child was saved by the sleeping bag. And not just one child. In fact, during the past 6 years, Jane Chen has saved the life of more than 5 lakh babies across Asia, several countries in Asia, several countries in Africa. And of course, Barack Obama came to know about this innovation, and he also funded it. And now it is used in more than 9 countries, and she has till date saved more than 5 lakh babies. Just one student making a change. But here's the biggest surprise I want to give you. Jane Chen is not an engineer. She doesn't have any qualification in engineering, nor is she a student of chemistry, which you would expect because she had done some studies about wax. But when you have a great empathy, when you have the power of intention, and when you have the attitude of initiative, now please understand, you have to really empathize with every single step that Jane Chen must have taken. It is about a career choice. It is about taking a flight all the way. It is coming to Bangalore and then traveling to more than 17 villages, talking to people, communicating with people in a language that she doesn't know. Okay, of course, that would have been a challenge, right? She finding people who could speak Kannada, then finding the translation, then studying how exactly you can find a solution. And Jane Chen is not an engineer. She's not a student of chemistry. She's only a student of economics and psychology. This is where it really struck me. Now, I'm proud of what Jane Chen has done, but I'm equally embarrassed as well as a faculty who has been teaching for 20, 23 years. We never talk about these problems which are in our own backyards, in our own, in our own societies, in our own communities. But someone from US has to come and solve such a serious problem for the mothers in India, right? And it is stories like these, and there are many of them, which really made me think, can we as students, no matter what our academic backgrounds are, can we make a difference? And put this at the sticky part of your mind, because I'll be connecting more stories with that. And that is why at ICLI, the little platform that we have created, maybe on the similar lines where you have this innovation club in your own college, we would come together, and we would our classroom would all be outside, would be outdoors, just outside Christ University. There's a very crowded marketplace. There are evenings where we would just walk. Our group of students would just walk, and we would identify problem areas. So we use the concept of regio schools. For innovation to happen, you need to be childlike, not childish, but childlike. You should have abundance of energy, enthusiasm, curiosity, this ability to question, this ability to observe. And we use the principle. The beauty of regio schools, I don't know if any of you are familiar with regio schools. They are schools in Italy, and they have students right from, you would be surprised, 6 months old up to 10 years old. And the beauty of this school is that they don't have a syllabus. But the bigger beauty of this school is that the children devise a syllabus. So a child can come with maybe some insect or a bug, and the class starts. A lot of questions happen, and the teachers just facilitate all this questioning. So there is a beautiful bug that is brought to the class, and it has a beautiful design on it. And then they talk about colors, they talk about patterns, they talk about symmetry, they talk about biology, they talk about what they eat. And this kind of, open exploration leads to problem identification, solution to problems. So they have hands-on experience. And that is why they'll always have a smile on the faces. I always tell our classrooms look so serious. Our talk is shorter, so I've cut a lot of slides from this, because I have pictures of how students sit in Indian classrooms in Christ University. We all have a very serious face, listening monotonously to a teacher who is speaking monotonously. We need to change all that. And then there can be more smiles. We can enjoy what we are doing. And then you can have lots of smiles on their faces, because you are engaged holistically. So how do you trigger the innovation engine? How do you make it move? There has to be an external engine, and I think teachers need to pay attention to this. And there is an internal engine which students have to pay attention to. So what is the external engine? Which is provided by the institution. We need to cultivate that culture of innovation, right? Where this is really encouraged, which is really fostered in your institutions. We also need to create that living atmosphere, the habitat, where students are not just asked to go through a straight-jacketed syllabus and at the end of it do some exams, but this is a habitat which actually encourages questioning, encourages exploring unexplored paths. That is what has to be nurtured at the institution, and your innovative clubs should actually foster such an atmosphere. And obviously, I think the last part, that is resources. We don't have any shortage of resources. In an institution like St. Teresa's, which I've heard a lot about, it's always forthcoming to provide more resources. So this is the external engine which the institution can provide, but the student has to cultivate the internal engine. The internal engine is consisted of knowledge, attitude, and imagination. I don't know whether the students can unmute, or maybe any of you who are able to unmute. You can reply to this of knowledge, attitude, and imagination, which a student has, which is most important for imagination to happen. Can I wait for a reply? Which is most important out of attitude, knowledge, and imagination, according to you, for innovations to happen?
Imagination.
Who answered that?
Sir, Alina.
Okay, Alina, yeah. You are a student or a faculty there?
Student, sir.
Okay, student. Usually, if it were a physical classroom, I would have actually given a 5-star or a dairy milk to you for answering. This is itself is the attitude of initiative, right? So thank you very much for that. But what do you think, if you don't have the attitude, will you trigger your imagination?
No, sir. I think it's a
Yeah,
combination of everything. Knowledge,
it's a
imagination,
combination of everything.
attitude.
Yeah, right. As I mentioned, in Jane's class, Jane Chen's class, many must have imagined a lot of solutions, but who had the attitude of initiative? Only Jane Chen. So I think foremost, you have to have the attitude. If you have the attitude, you will trigger your imagination and utilize your knowledge, right? Of course, you can debate on which is more important, but I believe that for great innovations to happen, you have to have the right attitude. Otherwise, even if you are a science student or an engineering student, nothing much is going to happen. And then how do you trigger your imagination? All our academic institutions usually, I'm not saying always, but usually ask the first question, what gives 5 plus 5? And of course, I'll just quickly run through it. It gives one answer, right? 5 plus 5 universally, even if thousands of students do it, it will always have one answer, that is 10, right? But only one answer. So if I ask the second question, what plus what gives 10? How many possibilities have now opened up? In how many ways can two numbers come together to give the answer 10?
5 chances, sir.
5 ways. Think more.
Sir, if it's subtraction, we have more. Subtraction,
Yeah.
division,
Yeah, you
multiplication.
think again. Now what happens? You think more and more and more, and suddenly we'll find out that there are infinite ways in which two numbers can add up to 10. As you mentioned correctly, there are numbers with negative numbers, integers, fractions. They all can combine to become 10. You understood what is this? Is imagination. You open up a window of possibilities, right? As I mentioned, we walk through the marketplace. That is imagination, where we come back and ask, what did you observe? What did you see? Do you think something can be done here? Do something can be done there? So suddenly we are not sitting in a four-walled classroom, but we are out in the open, triggering our imagination. This is something which you can think and ponder about. I'm actually moving a little faster so that I can cover some of the key areas which I actually wanted to bring home to this class today. And as you are walking around, for imagination to trigger, you need to have this very fine eye for details. You should have a very observant eye. And though it might look very, very simplistic, I can unfortunately tell you that the way we are getting educated, the way we are moving around, we are steadily losing our power of observation, right? Things are so routine every day around us that we fail to observe closely. And imagination and great innovations can happen only if you have this minute power of observation. And then you should, after you observe several discrete points and discrete elements, you should know how to connect and combine. In fact, we have a 45-hour course where we go in detail about how we do it, how students are engaged in lots of activities where they actually do hands-on all these activities and learn this entire exercise of how to observe, how to connect and combine, how to use your imagination. And then we do a lot of futile brain exercises, which we call unuseless inventions. This is from Tina Seelig from Stanford. They are not useful, they are not useless, but they are therefore termed as unuseless. So if you want great innovations to happen, you should have what is called the creative confidence. The moment I say creative confidence, I think you should now start getting comfortable with this one word which everyone in academics, students, faculty, parents, most of all, dread. No innovations can happen unless you are ready to embrace failure. Failure is, as we always say, stepping stone to success. But in the world of innovation, failure is the only way you can come up with great ideas and convert it into great products or services. So what I'm telling is, no innovation can happen unless you are ready to take risks. If you are not ready to wear the badge of failure with pride on because you tried, and this is very, very important. So this I've just touched very superficially on the key elements that you need for innovations to happen, no matter what your backgrounds are. So as I mentioned, the first is to have empathy. Second is to have an intention to do something. But then the most important is to have the attitude of initiative. Take that initiative. The boldest step is to take initiative. It might be about risking a stable career choice. It might be about risking a comfort zone, and then you come out. And then you are a risk taker, and you should be very comfortable with embracing failure. Yeah. So now I'll come to very quickly to 3 examples of just to tell you what we did at ICLI and how it actually made someone's life better and bring a smile. So I'll just show you this particular video. I hope the video is moving.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Would somebody come from BCom? What is my inauguration with others and explain to me?
So very quickly, again, his name is Malika Arjun, and he is a ground staff at Christ University, and he's been working at our university for the past 14 years now, and so he takes care of the ground, and he has to mark the football ground when there are matches, and at Christ University, a lot of matches keep happening throughout the year, and he has to do it every second, third day because in Bangalore, it keeps raining every second and third day in the evenings, and then all the lines wipe off, and he has to come and do this. Now at ICLI, when we were walking to, we saw Mallikarjun doing this. He had just started this to get ready for a match the next day. And as we were watching Mallikarjun, then suddenly this is where the lesson of observation came in. This is a video I took later to bring home this lesson. And I told the students, see, Mallikarjun is doing this. Let us observe it till he completes it. And thankfully, he had just started when we observed him. And we waited there till he completed. I said, we are not going for the meeting. We'll only observe Mallikarjun doing this work. And as he started this work and he completed it, it took him 1 hour 35 minutes to do this entire work. And in this 1 hour 35 minutes, he had to bend 600 times. As you see in this, you must have seen in this video how he's bending every step. And he had to bend 600 times in 1 hour 35 minutes. And he has to do it every second, third day. And he has been doing this for the past 13 years. And there are 20,000 students in the campus of Christ University. And I asked that day for the meeting, there were 36 students we were going. And I said, see, Mallikarjun has this work to do. Can we make his life simpler? Can we make his life easier? And I said, at that time, we used to get small funds every month. And I told these boys that, boys and girls, that I give you 3,000 rupees and I give you a week's time. Can you bring a smile on Mallikarjun's face? And then the group started work, and the boy in the striped shirt, which you see on the right, is his name is Chirag. He was a student of physics, electronics, and mathematics. He was a student leader of the ICLI, and he is a great innovator, and he has some original satellite designs. And now he has finished his post-graduation in astrophysics and aeronautical engineering, but a passionate innovator. So he brought this, what we call as the proof of concept. So he cut this half plastic bottle, half football, and he connected a wooden strip to it, put some wheels to it. And we did what we call the proof of concept. So when we do an innovation, we first do what is called the proof of concept. And then we go to what is called an MVP, that is a minimum viable product. And then we build a prototype. So we worked on it a few more days. And then finally on exactly the 7th day, Chirag and his team did this for Mallikarjun. He made this small, field marker for Mallikarjun. And the beauty of this product was that now Mallikarjun, instead of bending 600 times, he had to bend only 0 times. And the whole work, which took 1 hour 35 minutes, finished in just 6.5 minutes. And he used to use 100 kg of lime. And now he finishes all of this with just 25 kg lime. But it took 13 years before Mallikarjun got this football marker, the field marker. And it was such a joy. And in fact, we do have a video about him interviewing and he telling about how it used to hurt his back, how he has to do it really fast. And he would end up, inhaling a lot of lime powder, and that he felt was very, very bad. And he's so happy. So all it took was an observation, and then the empathy that, he is Mallikarjun who has to bend 600 times. And then with that power of intention, you have the attitude of initiative, where you work for a week and you come up with a product. Is it a great innovation? It's not a great innovation. But then if you actually check on Amazon, you'll find that there are beautiful field markers available on Amazon made from USA. They cost anywhere from 11,000 to 26,000 rupees. And we sent just 600 rupees for it. And now we make a refined product where we make it for 2,500 rupees. A simple innovation which brought smile on somebody in our own family, Mallikarjun. Similarly, we are now taking up a different project called Go Nuts. Now, I think even in Kerala, we have what is called a couplet, right? They sell roasted peanuts on the roadside. So I'll just very quickly run through this. We are going to create what is the world's first peanut vending machine called Go Nuts, and it doesn't exist anywhere in the world. So now, if you know that a person, a vendor who sells roasted peanuts on a cart on the roadside. In fact, we have one case study. We have a boy named Rohit who sells roasted peanuts just outside our college gates. That's where the idea triggered, and we found out that after all the hard work, he ends up earning just 6,000 to 7,000 rupees a month after all the expenses and then the rents and all are paid. He just earns 6,000 rupees. And then I had given a challenge to the students. In fact, it was an English CIA to the commerce students that you have to do a business model for Rohit. So after a lot of iterations, lot of discussions, trials, this is an automatic vending machine, peanut vending machine, which is going to be owned by the roadside peanut vendors. For example, Rohit in our case, and this will be kept inside campuses because you will not allow Rohit, a roasted peanut vendor, to enter your premises and sell peanuts. Do you? You won't, right? But if it is a branded vending machine like these, and if Rohit owns this and he can load these machines with, let's say, 60 cones of peanuts, each costing 10 rupees. And let's say at Christ University, as I mentioned, there are 20,000 students. We have 3 football grounds. We have 2 basketball grounds. There are cafeteria areas. And if 2-3 vending machines are kept here and there, and then all you have to do is do a Paytm payment or a phone pay payment of 30 rupees, and 3 warm roasted peanut cones will pop out. So what's the whole point? While Rohit is on the roadside selling and earning just 6,000 rupees, his business can happen at 3 other places where he will be earning another 1,800 rupees. So his total income will be around 2,400 rupees, and that is how he can increase his income. This is exactly what I'm trying to draw attention to. We as a country, we as students of a university, there are so many problems all around us for which we can come up with great solutions. And you should have seen the meetings where students of humanities, students of commerce, students of MBA, and students of electronics engineering, students of mechanical engineering who are building this entire device. You should see their meetings, first year students, second year students, the kind of business models they propose, the kind of quality standardization they propose, the kind of, and students of humanities who suggest a lot of branding ideas, marketing ideas, and it is such a fun to watch. And the college university has given us a funding to complete this entire machine. We made the proof of concept just before the corona happened last March, and unfortunately we could not complete it, but we are going to take it up as soon as things open up. So this was triggered by our intention. Somebody just outside our campus, a boy named Rohit, who sells roasted peanuts. We all saw the tragedy that happened in urban areas to the urban poor when corona hit first, and when a total lockdown was suddenly imposed. Hundreds and thousands of people had to walk their way back. Why did they have to walk their way back? Because they live on a hand-to-mouth existence. A boy like Rohit has to earn every single day to earn. If he doesn't get an opportunity to earn for 3 days, 4 days, he's going to die hungry. And this is where we as university should provide great solutions so that urban poor also have an opportunity to have some saving. Rural India, the women in rural India also should have ability to earn decent incomes for themselves so that they can improve their standard of living, have better incomes for themselves. And this is where I ask big questions to the students sitting at the university. Are we only trying to just secure ourselves, getting a good job, flying to United States, get placed in big fours and making ourselves secure, where the majority of India suffers? Thousands of farmers commit suicide. The very farmer who brings food on our table has to die because he is under debt. This is where universities have to trigger our students to come up with great solutions. And then I'm coming to the last example of what we did at Christ University. I think this is what you already mentioned. Not that we can solve a problem for someone within our university, not that we can solve a problem only for someone in our neighborhood. We should have the belief that we can provide great solutions for the pressing challenges that the world is facing. We should have the courage in us. We should have the risk-taking ability. We should have the confidence in us. And particularly at a time when the globe is facing lots of pressing challenges, particularly related to environment, particularly related to gender equity, particularly related to, urban consumption, all the UN sustainability goals. There is so much work to do. And you as youngsters in India, probably you are the people who can actually, if you have the have the attitude, if you have the ability to take risks. If you don't have the ability to take risks, then my entire talk is a waste. And that is why I'm writing a book called Stop Clapping, right? We all listen to great stories and we clap and we admire, but there's no point clapping for others. It is time to do something. And I always say, stop clapping, start doing something. That will make a difference. And as I mentioned, when this pressing problem of this plastic straws came to my attention, I think some of you must have seen this very painful video of a sea turtle which got an 8-inch plastic straw stuck in its nostril, and it was pulled with the turtle bleeding by a ocean rescuer. And this all was very painful. And then in 2017 in October, I was walking in the campus, and when I saw this fallen coconut leaf, by God's grace, this idea struck to me that it can be converted into a straw. A few experiments, and I found out this the natural leaf, the dry leaf that you see strewn all around, burned in kitchens, actually contains very healthy natural wax, and that wax makes it a very fit candidate to be converted into a straw. You go to KFC, you go to McD, you get paper straws. They are dipped in artificial wax, paraffin wax and beeswax, but this straw has a natural wax which makes it hydrophobic, which becomes water resistant, and it has natural water resistant properties, so that it can remain antifungal property also, so that it can remain, it has a shelf life of almost a year. So long story short, we created the world's first biodegradable straw made from fallen coconut leaves. And first, I would very quickly introduce you to our team. I'm the only oldest member in the team. That's why I did not even put the picture here. And 3 of these students are from Christ University. The one on the extreme left is Sandeep. The one at the center is Jose. He's a design engineer from HCL who resigned from HCL to join us. One on the extreme top right of the screen is Chirag again. As I mentioned, Chirag, after having done his post-graduation in aeronautical and astrophysics engineering, he came and he decided not to go for any jobs, but to join our company. Our company is Brown Agri-Based Innovation. Blessing Pumps is one of the production centers. Sandeep, you saw on the top left, he's a postgraduate in MA, and now he has registered for his PhD, but he's also full-time working with us. And both of them decided to not to go for any jobs. The girl at the bottom is Lisa. She takes care of brand management. She's a student of history, economics, and political science. And Sandeep is a student of economics. And one on the bottom left is Fauzal. He is a marketing guy. So we are a young team, very passionate, and we have the vision. So 3 students from Christ University have joined us full time. They have not got a single paisa in salary, but they believe in this vision and they know the potential. And they are all stakeholders in the company. They are directors in the company. They have very big stakes, and already our company is doing good with the valuation. And once the team was made, once the product was understood, then we got into the act of making machines. Now, do you understand what has happened? A simple dry leaf at a university triggers an idea to make a straw. And then, so that is a very original product. We filed a patent under PCT, and there was a search conducted in 153 countries, across 153 countries. This idea is absolutely novel. And to make those straws, we needed machines, and we had developed 7 machines. I mean, these machines are outdated ones. We have upgraded the machines. And I want you to know that from one fallen coconut leaf, one muddle, what you say in Malayalam is muddle, right? One muddle, you can make 150 to 200 beautiful straws. And these straws are now sold without even doing any sort of aggressive marketing. There were some videos which were going around. We got inquiries from 25 countries for this product. And now I'm very happy to tell you that these machines are now much upgraded. And this is a business model we have now developed. And now we have 3 centers. One is in Kasaragod, Kerala. The other one is in Thoothukudi in Tamil Nadu, and one is in Madurai. And now we have created a business model. 32 women have been employed in these places, and we get this leaves, dried leaves from different places, and the women sort it out. Then we have also developed a power leaf cleaning machine. We do clean it, and then there are these processes, and the straws are converted into do a quality check, and they are packaged. And we have already sent samples to 10 countries, and we are now getting huge orders for this product. People have liked it. 5-star hotels have liked it. And it all started with one dry leaf which came under my observation. And then now I would be very happy to tell you that there are postgraduate students from MSc Botany who did an entire project to understand the chemical properties of the leaves, and they got a paper published in the Asian Journal of Plant Sciences, which is a Scopus Index journal. And now we are getting ready to file to write another 5 research articles, and a very good scope that they will be published in Scopus Index journals like Elsevier and Nature, because the entire product end to end is innovative. And the student involvement, there are students from psychology, there are students from engineering, obviously there are students who are now engaging with these women. There are I would be very happy to tell you that in MA English class we gave a course on innovation and social enterprise. It was a 45-hour course where the students of MA English joined it, and they completed the course and they came up with their own ideas, business and service ideas. Please understand that you students of humanities, you can bring in that kind of a holistic approach to business models. An engineer will have a straitjacketed aspect of technology. Someone from MBA will only see in terms of numbers, but you are the people who can bring in a lot of holistic element to it. The whole impact aspect about how we can touch the lives of these women psychologically, holistically, the happiness aspect, the family standards of living. This can happen only through you students. And then a few accolades started coming. In 2018, we were selected as the top 3 startups to represent India at an international event in Scotland. And we were selected and we flew to Scotland and we had the privilege. Can you imagine? This is where I'm telling the story with a childlike excitement, where I am an English teacher. I just came up with an idea of straw, which was actually laughed at in the beginning when I show a few people, and then it gets selected as one of the top innovations. And we went to Scotland for the international event, and there were again 125 teams from 45 different countries participating in the event, and it was happening in that prestigious University of Edinburgh in the convocation hall. And the top 16 teams were selected. We got selected, and then our product got the best innovation for social impact. And this gave us a kind of visibility. And Hindustan Petroleum immediately, it was one of the sponsors of this program. So they contacted us and they decided to give us a grant of 1 crore. And that is where this whole journey took off. And after that, again, can you imagine, I suddenly getting a letter from ASSOCHAM, Association of Chambers of Commerce in Delhi, saying that yours is a great product and the world should know that we have a product. And they invited me to be a part of the Honorable President of India's delegation to Philippines. And it was like an unimaginable dream come true, where I was traveling with the President of India. And I was given the opportunity to deliver a talk at the ASEAN India Business Center, and Philippines being a coconut hub. I think 75% of its agriculture is coconut farms. They were very excited about the product. And I had the privilege of meeting the First Lady of Philippines, where I gave this box of straws to the the First Lady. And now we are getting 2 contacts from Philippines where they want to have a joint collaboration. Not only from Philippines, now we are in talks with Mauritius, Burma, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, where we will have joint production business models. And this year, a company from Switzerland called Swiss Re, they selected this innovation for the Shine Entrepreneur Award, and they gave us a grant. And that helped us to do the R&D to further develop the machines. But I want to thank Christ University, who had the faith in me, and then they reduced my workload so that I could focus on this particular work. And they gave us the initial funding of 10 lakh rupees to do the initial R&D. And so Swiss Re, every year they select just 1 team across India, and we were selected just for the straw. And that is where I'm reinforcing it, because you as students, I believe you can be an entire storehouse of great ideas. Only you should have the ability to take risks. And last month, the Ministry of Agriculture selected this straw idea as the top idea among waste to wealth category and gave us the Agri Hackathon Award. And again, last month, HDFC gave us a grant under the Smartup Award, where we are going to start 1 center at Nagarkoil. So in this way, I think everyone knows NABARD, that is the National Bank of Rural and Agriculture Development. They have now sanctioned an amount of 60 lakhs for me to start 5 centers around Mysore in 5 villages to employ 200 women. So the journey goes that we are going in the next 4 months, we will be employing more than 200 women engaging in the production of the straws, and already several 5-star hotels and several distributors across 25 countries have shown interest to buy our product. So we are going to raise our production to 30 lakh straws per month in the next 4 months. That will see an engagement of 200 women to work with us, and that's where students like you can contact and connect with us and get engaged. We give a lot of internship. Because Brownreed is now a registered startup under the Ministry of Commerce, and we can give internship opportunities. In fact, every year in the summer, around 25 to 30 students intern with our company, and they work. Students from English, students from MA Economics, and students from management studies who do a lot of studies around brand management, marketing. Others do on lean operations and so on and so forth. I'm also learning quite a few things now, and we go to rural areas. We teach these women about this product, and we engage them in the production. And so far, we have been visiting all these places to set up small production centers, and that brings a lot of smile on the faces of these women, because we just don't want to be a product selling company. We want to be a company which is a social enterprise, a for-profit social enterprise, but which is a transparent profit sharing model. We share the profits with the women who work with us, and this is where we are very committed to build a model social enterprise coming out from a university, Christ University, which will be a model for others to replicate. And this is one of our production centers in Madurai, where we are trying to build international protocols of production, whether it be proper opportunities for women, giving them healthy working conditions, and even the product has to go through stringent quality controls and hygiene protocols so that our product is respected. I want to just very quickly tell you that we got one request from a very big company in the US, one from Germany, and one from South Africa, saying, you just sell the product, we will rebrand and sell it. And we are stubbornly refusing to allow anyone to rebrand our product. We want that rural India should give a product which will become a global brand, and it will be respected as a global brand. And that's what we are constantly struggling. So we get feedbacks, as I mentioned, we have not yet reached. We send the straws, and then 5-star hotels find problem with us. Then we come back, we rework on the product, we improve it, and now slowly we are seeing some light of the day. So having said all this, what is my biggest intention? Am I an entrepreneur? Why did I start all this? This is where I created a head fake. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not an innovator. At the heart of hearts, I'm only a teacher. But then why do I bring this story? As a teacher, I thought that I should lead by example. And I want that as few students should be motivated and encouraged to take that untrodden path, the untrodden risky path, but a path where you are certain to make a big difference. Because we want to touch the lives of these women. We want to touch the lives of these children. We want that the children, even in the remotest area, should get quality education, should get access to good medical health, and they should then become they should become leaders who will again trigger great innovations to happen. The whole aspect is, let us create wealth. Let us not earn money. Earning money is a very narrow mindset. We should create wealth. We should create income generating opportunities, and that will happen only if people like you, people like us, can look for opportunities, convert problems into possibilities, and convert an idea into an enterprise. Why? Because boys and girls who are listening, you are at a place which is, the institution is named Saint Teresa's. Let me just share something with you. Every morning I begin with a prayer with Mother Teresa. There is a prayer called Mother Teresa Evening Prayer. It's a beautiful prayer where we are all supposed to be shining like lights, and so that others also can be blessed with we being the harbingers of hope and light for the people. Why? Because boys and girls, not all are lucky. There are still hundreds and thousands of children on the streets of India, and they're all looking at us with hope. Are we going to be selfish, and are we going to turn a blind eye as if they don't exist, and then just look after our own security? Or you're going to take that the more risky path of trying to see whether you can make a difference with. I want you to understand that each of you listening to me, you are not supposed to just do like everyone else does, right? You are an individual, you have an identity, and there is greatness in you. You have come to this planet with a greatness, and it is your responsibility to manifest that greatness, not to hide that greatness because you're afraid to take that risk. It's your responsibility to manifest that greatness. And then when you have the courage to manifest that greatness, then you will see that the world is getting blessed with that little talent that you have in you. Then your parents will be proud, your school will be proud, and most importantly, you can avoid scenes like this, and the world will never be the same again because you came this way. And this is the biggest lesson I wanted to convey to you, because India needs it, and India needs it very, very desperately. Thank you very much for your patient listening. I think I stopped at the right time. God bless you all.